Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do my weekly, no, this is monthly, coming in to do the monthly channel message. This is for October 2022. We have so much energy that's happening. We have so many things that are happening, and I'm covered in cat fur. And this is Princess Leia, who's sitting with us today. If you've never met her, she is a regular in the scene here. So this month's message is truly one that is, man, we need a break. God, we need a break. We need a shift. We need changes. We need this energy to really, truly shift. We have been hit so hard, and yes, I do channel through the weathers and the weather patterns, and I can feel them and feel the energy of them coming on. And I could feel these weather patterns that have hit us so hard. But like I say, you can't stop Mother Earth. I can't stop them from happening, even though we can feel them, we can talk about them, we can know they're there, but you can't change them. And so I don't think we're over them yet, though. I don't think that's it. We just had those big hurricanes hit Florida and the East Coast in Canada. And I don't think this is it. I think there's still something more. I also spoke a few months ago about a big explosion, and I could see something exploding in the ocean. And I spoke about this explode, like I couldn't explain it, but I seen something happening in the ocean and something exploding in the ocean. And then we had just had those two attacks on the gas lines, which has caused severe catastrophic, environmental issues. Plus, these were not being used, but they were filled. But plus the fact that it also affects the world, and it affects things in ways that probably not even aware of yet. But there is effects that come, there is effects because how it was done, and what has transpired from that. So I do know that stuff is still, I think that was the beginning of something even bigger. I am feeling that. So when I give the weekly message, I tried to create it from love, but this monthly message has to come from the place of what I pick up when I'm channeling through that energy, when I'm traveling out there, when I'm out in that place. And if I only went to what was all absolutely beautiful, then then I'd be ignoring and neglecting the messages of the channel. So I do try to give it in a way of what's happening out inside the world, and then bringing it into us and how we can be the change within ourselves to bring more love into the world, to be able to be our own change. And I myself personally, I too have traveled through a lot of really difficult times as well. And this past few years have been probably the hardest years. And so I've, waiting for that breather, and with being Aries and having Chiron so in my chart, that it has like really challenged. And I write books about my experiences, and I write books about where I am, and I write books about the pain and the journey through the pain and through healing, but also through what I've learned through interactions and experiences and other stories, and how through others' eyes you can start to see you, and you start to have compassion for yourself. And so my second book is just released. It is My Truth of Existing Beyond the Reflection. It is available. Yes, we have to do the talk before because there is other stuff. And so, and the first book is More Than Existing. And this one is, they're both available on Amazon, where you can purchase both of these books. This is the first, is the second. And there is they are like a series of the journey of my journey of learning to more than exist in a world that just keeps trying to have us just exist. And so, and it's not in any way political. It's not in any way a how-to book. It's, it is about experiences and about walking through experiences. And we can learn so much by the power of listening to stories without judgment, without criticism, that we can open ourselves up to possibly learn something new. And so those books are available. As for the energy and where this energy is taking us. So when I started to ask, what is this really that's happening? What do we really got going on out there? What's going on? And I just and it was just this whole sense of, it's almost as if the world, the earth, is about to go through, or is going through, not Mother Earth herself, she's wide open, but that the world itself is going through a mass awakening, a mass kind of like coming through the birth canal, right? It's like just coming back out and coming into the world. And so there's a lot of old energy that needs to be released, just like the afterbirth. So there's a lot of old stuff that has to still be released and let go. And so there is still a lot of this energy. It's a lot of really crappy energy out there. And that energy is not always pretty. And so it's not always pretty, but there is a lot of underlying beauty. And there is a lot of underlying come together. And we are seeing and witnessing that in different areas and different places within our lives. Now, I do have a strong, strong pull that the holy realm is with us. And that this beautiful holy realm, and knowing the struggles, knowing what happened, knowing what happens to, what happened to Jesus, knowing what happened to so many that were innocent people, and what happens to even those who are good people, who then somebody else decides are bad people, and decides that somebody should have to pay the price and we need to get rid of that person, right? It's like that energy, that is still, we exist in that. And so knowing that never ever went away in our world, and which side would we rather be on, right? Which side would we rather be on? And would we, why would we want to, why do we want to place somebody else in a, why do we want to place somebody else in a crucifixion story? Like, why do we want to crucify somebody? Why would we want to destroy somebody? Why is that so ingrained in us that we have hate that is so strong about people we don't even know? That judgment, that whole quick to respond. And that's always seems to be a narrative in these sessions, in these experiences. And love is really coming up, but sometimes it's like that grandmother love. Grandmother love is not often, but sometimes harsh, because it is the harsh truth. It is the truths that are sometimes hard to have to face, like what we really need to do. How do we need to be the change? And I feel like we're having to face some of those hard truths, having to make some of those big sacrifices in life, like experiencing those. So some of those hard decisions and choices. So having to, financially walk away from things, having to walk away from unhealthy relationships you've been working on forever. And sometimes just because somebody is a kind person to you, they may not be your person. There may be a resistance. There may be, just a bleak relationship that is not working, but just because it's comfortable. So just because life is comfortable doesn't mean that's the spot we're supposed to stay. There is a difference in contentment and complacent. And so to stay somewhere, to stay in a position that we have built around comfortable, but we know it's not bringing us any closer to our divine destiny or to a joy in our heart, then we know it's time to walk away. Like, it's really, truly, how do we go about that though? It's like, and so sometimes walking away don't mean we have to fully walk away from everything, or it means that we have to break up with the narrative of a story that we keep telling ourselves. And this month is bringing those things in because they are a part of the shift. They are a part of the change. They're a part of how do we get to a new beginning if we don't let something fully end. So, you can only stay pregnant for so long, and eventually that child has to come into this earth. So eventually you have to give birth to something new. So the pregnancy stage has to end so that the birth can happen, right? And so the birth is not nice. And don't let anyone lie to you if you haven't had it. It is not pretty. It's not some beautiful experience. It is effing painful. And unless you've experienced it, you don't know. And having an animal can be like a child, but it's not a child, and you didn't bring it into it's not the same. It's not the same. You can have love, but that's not the same. And so that painful experience sometimes of getting to the birth and holding that joy and holding on to the satisfaction, the joy, the love, and looking into the eyes of love. So in order to look into the eyes of love in a relationship, sometimes we have to leave behind a relationship that is just comfortable, because we've made ourselves be at, just be content in that relationship. So to find that sense of just being content there, just being, so that's the word we use, but that's not what it means. It means to be comfortable. I'm comfortable. No, you're not comfortable. You're actually, it's not comfortable. It's what we create it to be. So language is hard to commute for us. So from commuting through spirit and through how we see this and seeing color speak to me, hearing the energy speak to me, and then trying to bring it into words, it is such a hard narrative as a mystic to bring these experiences back to earth and to give them out in an earthly way. And so it's like, no, you're not. Joy is different. And to hold that newborn child, to be with that newborn child, that moment and that experience is so precious, but it's so temporary. So that temporary moment, because then the world comes in, then somebody comes and disturbs you, and then somebody comes in and tells you how hard it's going to be. And I think we spoke about this before, and here we are again. And so this conversation and this is where we are. We're in that stage of knowing that things sometimes become the uncomfortable to get to a new sense of satisfaction, a moment of feeling something that you want to feel even more in your life. So when you start to look into love, so when you start to allow yourself to open to receiving and to feel real, true love, then that feeling stays with you, because it's not what somebody else is bringing. It's about you being in place and being in the place of where you need to be to receive these beautiful gifts, this beautiful journey. And so that means we have to let go of what we're not, right? Letting that go, setting that free. And so the energy is bringing that narrative, that story in, that we are experiencing that. So we're experiencing it on a global scale, that we are like, you know what, moving away from that tribal, so in spiral dynamics, they speak of, the I-we combination, like moving from I to we. And so that whole kind of cluster together, that activist energy that brings everyone, like, that becomes, we are all on this side and we're all fighting for this, and then there's that one person who just finally says, but I signed up because I had a belief and a narrative of change, not for all of rest of how you went about the change and how you want to destroy somebody else to bring more love into the world, or how you want to ban other people to bring more love into the world. Well, that's never going to work. So the I from the we becomes that sense of having the courage. So bravery is to stand up in the crowd and say, yeah, we're all joined and we're all going to tumble in. Courage is the one who walks away and says, there has to be a better way. There just has to be a better way. There just has to be. And so there's always a way, but what is that way going to cost us? What is that way going to cost to get to that sweet spot, to get to that sense of that joy, that more of what you would love to feel inside, peace, to be at peace, to be content with knowing that you are, even though it's uncomfortable, that you're at peace, knowing that there's changes happening, knowing that you can't stop things from happening in the world, but that we can be here to support each other when things do go wrong, that we can be there for each other in those times. Now that's the energy. Now bring that back in, and bring that into even the smallest of situations in your life. Bring that into the smaller scale, bring that into you, and bring that into that sense of healing. And if you could just imagine for a moment, being in that experience of just being able to hold joy. And so if you're watching this, I invite you to just imagine having this beautiful ball of light in your hands, and to just bring this light. And as a healer, as someone who works with energy, to be able to move, that we can move and stretch and bend time, that we can bend this energy, this feeling that we have. So we bring this light in and we feel this light. And I want you to do this. If you're watching, do this. It only takes a moment, only takes a moment. And then see this ball of light in your hands. Now see it grow, feel it. You may feel this in your hands. You may see it fully, like you may be seeing it. You may be able to just know it's there. You don't need any proof, just know it's there. Now this light is becoming filled with this energy we call joy. And you can even write joy in it, just spell it out. but energy doesn't have words, that doesn't have our dictionary. That was created for us. It just has this energetic feeling of joy. So we're moving joy. Now, if we want to feel more joy, imagine as if you have like this musical instrument, like an accordion, that you just start to stretch and move it, and like a kid with silly putty, and just see yourself pushing that joy and bringing it up and bringing it back. And then have that, the body may have a memory of playing with something, even like that, what's that cat in the cradle game of the strings, right? Your body will have a muscle memory of something where you may have been moving your arms, you may have been dancing, you may have been clapping, you may have been experiencing something of joy. And then see that, feel it, just know this is happening, this is joy. And then take this beautiful joy, and as we can feel this in our body, as we're moving in harmony with this, and we push this joy up and out, push it out into the world. And we send this love, we send this joy out into the world, and we're not looking for it to come back. We're just sending it because we don't need it to come back to us. Do you know why we don't need it to come back to us? Because we are experiencing it right here, right now. We are experiencing it. So as you're sending it out, you've already received it. You created it. You're existing in it. You're in that energy. You're in that joy. Here you are in joy in this moment. And no matter what else was happening in the world, we were here. And then we can offer this out in hopes that somebody else will be able to feel this. Somebody else, let it go. Just let it go. You don't need it returned to you because you've already got it. You already have it in you. It is existing in you. Everything that you will need is in you. So moving it, shifting it, seeing it as energy and bringing it in. And this is our moment of joy right here. Breathe that in. Now just tell yourself, I want to feel more of this. I want to remember this. I want this memory to guide me. And then see and think about that future. Just don't have to have a visual. Just imagine feeling more of that in your future. I want my future to feel more like that. I want my tomorrows to feel more like that. I want my next moments to have more of that. I want to feel that. And I have to be a creator. And I have to create that. How can I create that? How can I bring that in? By being playful, by letting the imagination guide you, by dancing, by moving, by opening a door, by saying hello, by smiling at somebody else, by offering to buy somebody a coffee, pay it forward at the coffee, in the lineups, in the Tim Hortons and the Starbucks and all of those places. Any place that you can give that $2, any place that you can be that change. That's how we bring joy in the world, because that temporary that somebody else feels, when you stretch and expand out that joy, that will be felt in the world, and the world will feel that. And the world is the world that you are in that moment. So how many moments do we have in a run of a day that we may have an opportunity that we can be that we can do that? And sometimes, do you know, somebody in our lives may be waiting for us to set them free. I remember somebody who was waiting for me to be the one to set them free. And even though it was not easy, it led to much more joy and happiness, because comfort does not bring that joy. Comfort means often we just stay. And so sometimes we got to be uncomfortable. Not all the time. Don't worry. Comfortable like a warm, fuzzy pair of socks on your feet could be comfortable. To other people, that may be as annoying as F, right? Like that may be so fucking annoying. But to others, it may be total comfort. What is your comfort, right? What is that comfort? So by just giving the word comfort, everybody's going to feel and sense and know comfort differently. But I'm talking about being complacently, like just placing yourself somewhere and just saying, well, you know, this is my destiny now. I just have to stay. We're stuck with each other. I'm stuck in this shitty job. I'm stuck in this situation. So when we start imagining ourselves in joy in something else, sometimes that joy starts to come in such powers and such ways that we just know that we will start seeking things so that we can move ourselves, not to cause ourselves more pain by moving too quickly, but by first becoming the person that you need to be able to exist in there. And when joy becomes the internal feeling, the corners of the mouth go up and you start to illuminate and shine this brightness of this joy, and you will attract joy. You will be a part of the joy. But everything you do for somebody else that brings that little moment of joy also then is feeding into the joy that is now existing in you, so that it's not so temporary and it becomes more permanent. That's what we're seeking. That's what we're searching for. And that's the journey that we're on this month, every month, the rest of our lives. Make it that mission. Make it your mission. Because through all of these difficult times, that's what I've been doing. Joy and happiness, no matter the cost. And that's a big part of this message that they really want you to start to seek. And that means being honest with ourselves. If there is something in our lives that we are totally unhappy, then if we have to stay here a long time, why do we choose the unhappiness? And why do we choose to believe the narrative of what others may think of us? Don't do it. So we have these cards that I just asked to come in, so to allow it to add to the story. So with this beautiful energy, I do feel as if there is this call to the beautiful Archangel Haniel that's coming in and being tied to this beautiful love. And when I asked if it was Haniel, I did get Archangel Haniel, but then I also received that I have my beautiful, just joyful Barachiel. And Archangel Barachiel is just coming in with just this skippity, like throwing rose petals down for us to walk, just in celebration. Like every day that we wake up and we start to move, the angelic realm, the holy realm, is so thankful that we are up and moving again, that maybe today will be the love that we need to be in the world. Maybe today we will be that. The holy realm is coming with a more sense of a seriousness and just saying, be aware of what it means to truly be benevolent, to truly be kind for absolutely no reason, no attachment to any outcome, no expectation, but just be kind. Just try being kind and not expecting anything back. Just put it out there, because you will feel more and more of that joy. So we do have the Knight of Wands. We have the fire, the passion. And this Knight of Wands is like he's in a stalemate. He's kind of waiting. His fiery, feathery top is not up, but his wand has this glow. His wand is that the stars glowing in? And then he's cloaked in this red, this rooted, this ground, and this gold story. He's looking over. He's not looking straight ahead. He's looking over. He's waiting for a wait. He's waiting for a go. He's in wait. He's waiting for a go. So your guides, your guardians, your angels are waiting for you to be able to start saying yes. And when you start saying yes and start opening up to more, they're ready to go. So there's a passion, a desire that's burning inside that is waiting to come out. And it's the same thing, Mother Earth. It's like just this burning desire to be able to feel us be a much more energetic match to the love and to the energy and to the teachings that the Divine Mother brings to us, that this Divine Mother gives us. And through that rooted and grounded, that all things that exist in her world all have to coexist together. And they do it in harmony, and waiting for us to come into harmony, to come into that place to be of accepting that we are all authentic and we all will have our own minds. And so we should. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, who is also in reverse. And this Nine of Pentacles, she has everything that she needs. This represents that whole sense of our material world, and being very in the material, in our human self, our human world. So it's like she is prepared and ready. She's in transformation. And this beautiful blue tells me again, that once again, our angels are with us. This falcon is, is it just going out to seek her final destiny, her final place, to guide her, to show her which way to go, so that she doesn't get tempted to walk down another path that is not for her, waiting for her to finally walk through her gate, walk through her door. There's just this beautiful world that is waiting. She just knows that this beautiful journey is there. And so the falcon will always know where to go, because it cannot get distracted, because it has its blinders on. So it can see one way, one path, one direction. We don't have to wear blinders. When we're not afraid to be able to deal with everything we need to deal with, to not always take the high road, to travel down through, then we can be courageous enough to see all things, to explore all things, to know that all things exist. But if all of that we're afraid of exists, then all of that we try to hide in also exists, but it keeps us from being able to see that we may be limiting ourselves. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And that Wheel of Fortune is just saying, this is often represents like, it's a 10. 10 represents, transformation, but it's also in the suits. So in the minor arcanas, each 10 will represent some sort of ending, like a completion of something. Well, this Wheel of Fortune is like, wherever you are, this is where your destiny is. But if you don't complete things, if we don't come full circle, if we keep being the same person we were, even if we end something, but we're not the person we need to be, we'll be in the same repeat again. We will repeat this again. We'll repeat these same mistakes. The world will repeat the same mistakes. We have to become the people we need to be the change we want to see. Now imagine that jumping into a new job, a new relationship, new everything. Who do you need to be? You need to know that within you. And this is the time for a deep self-discovery, a self-awareness. If we want the world to be a better place, but we don't expect us to have to do any improvement, that's a little bit self-centered, right? Like there's always something for us to also discover within ourselves. And they're just waiting for us to show up. They're just waiting for us to be here. They're waiting for us to be a part of this. We have the Two of Pentacles. And it's like there's choices, there's options, and there's the beautiful dolphin. When you look at the ship, is it coming in? Is it going out? Did it just leave something behind? Did it drop something off? Did he get his treasures dropped off? Or did it go out and he's like weighing his odds? Like, or is he waiting to go in or out? Like there's so many things and there's so many perspectives. And I watch people argue over what is right and what is wrong, even in a tarot. And it's like, if you are trusting your intuition and your guidance, there's always something so beautiful and so creative. There's something in the narrative of being creative and seeing something more, that you may see something that can even inspire somebody else to finally open up and not to be so tied to how to. That is so ego-based, how things have to be done. There's always new ways. Even those who created the original tarots, they come back as wisdom for us. They have learned more from being on the other side than they ever knew on earth. So they bring back new wisdom. They bring back new information. Our ancestors, our elders, they're not here telling us that we have to do things exactly as it was. That's our fear of expansion. That's our fear of evolution. We're here to listen to them say, I learned a lot from over here. I learned that you can let go. I learned that you can be more free. I learned that you can just trust. And that wisdom comes back in as love, lovingly giving us the fact to let us think that we're thinking up these ideas and that we think it's ours. And that's like, oh, I got this new idea. No, that's them giving us the information that they have learned from the other sides, more than it's our own thought, because it all comes from that greater consciousness, that greater awareness that's out there. And so this month, and as we're moving forward, I think this is like a life reading. This is not a one-time reading. I want to end with the beautiful mystique of Mary Magdalene. And so of Magdalene, she's called here, and of Magdalene, and just knowing that, how many people made up a story about her? How many, do you personally know her? Have you personally met her? So we don't know. We don't know all about them. We know what we know based on what we're told. And then when she starts to speak through myself or others, when she comes through, I have to trust that she's coming through with new wisdom, coming through with new information, so that we can evolve and grow in love. We can evolve and grow in trust, in our intuition, in all things beautiful. And so Rain, right when she was no longer a victim to being told who and what she should be, she got to be all of her. She got to be free. Returning to spirit, she no longer either had to be this woman or that woman, or the woman who was in hiding. She got to be free. And so that freedom, so why would we have to wait until we leave this earth to be free of the restrictions, the narratives, the stories we tell ourselves, and the conditioning and the programming that we just can't seem to leave behind? Why would we have to become so, right? Why do we have to wait to be free from here in order to free ourselves? We are here to learn now, to free ourselves while we are here. Be present of that. And then we have trust, the Stella Mars. And so this beautiful card and hand on the shoulder is just knowing that, looking straight ahead, that unknowing look, that bewildered look, don't know where we're going, but we know we're going somewhere. We know we can't stay here. I know I can't stay in this situation. I know I can't stay here and do this energy anymore. I know I can't be this person. I know I can't be what others want me to be. And I have to trust the unknowing, but walking with our eyes wide open, not blinders on, that we know it is not always easy, but it is achievable. It is doable. And that we can do this journey, that we can walk this journey, and that we can be there. And then we have the sacred vow. And the most sacred vow that we took was for us to be here and to be a part of this human evolution, this human time, that our soul agreed to come here and to be a part of this, but not to waste the wisdom that it's learned in other lifetimes, but to use it as wisdom to help guide us through. The most powerful relationship you will have will be the one that you make with coming into a relationship with yourself. And when you make that relationship and you trust that relationship, beautiful things will unfold. And so this is about now replenishing to receive. The bottom deck, the underline. And so this is Rene's Labane's, which bath, right? That sacred bath, that baptismal. So when we cleanse and clear a bath, a shower, we cleanse off our day. When we go to sleep, we die every night, and we wake up refreshed every morning. We wake up anew. When we cleanse off and wash off our day. So when we do the same thing in our own minds, and when we do the healing that we need to do, is that we clear out the old and we make room. So when we replenish and refresh this energy, we feel that joy. It recharges us. It charges us up because it's a higher vibrating energy. It's a frequency of which we are actually naturally attuned to. But we have been so suppressed, and we believe that lower energy to be our frequency, but it's not a truth. We are designed to be joy. We are designed to be love. We are designed to be all things love, light, and beauty in this world. And I hope in some way that this inspires you this week to really, truly take the time to just be that light, to be that sense of joy, and to just feel that. And just in that moment, there's everything that I seek is right here. If you seek joy, if you seek happiness, if you seek contentment, peace, see it right here. Stretch and expand it and feel it. And feel the sense of that feeling coming over you, that you're existing in it. That feeling I want more of. But I have to be willing to move my own energy, to shift my own energy, to shift and change my mindset to get there. Sometimes it's retiring from the version of ourselves and moving into a new. Breaking up with our old is often what I call it. Break up with ourselves and let ourselves become that. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we're going. But what if it's a beautiful journey? And what if what's waiting is better than we could have ever imagined? Have a beautiful, beautiful month of October. I'm sure you'll be seeing me more. Please hit the subscribe button if you like these videos. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to get all the notifications. And I'm everywhere. You can find my work on CorrieThorne.com. You can purchase my books on Amazon. All the links are on my website. Also, we have this amazing academy where you can study underneath myself and my friend Lisa Richard of Loving Energy Recharge. And that one is called More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness. The website is mteacademy.ca. So many amazing programs. Thank you for your love and your support. And you can always donate to keep these videos going. And that's in the link below. Here's my PayPal link. And yeah, we do. And I do accept donations. So much love. Thank you so much. And I look forward to being back to speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.